What's up, guys? Finally made it home after the 2016 Bassmaster Western Regionals on Lake Mead. Had a really good event. First of all, I want to congratulate Bill Brown, Travis Graham, and Ben Bird. Utah absolutely dominated that event. Feels good to be a part of such a stout team, and good job everybody that contributed to our weight on the team. Last minute calls, myself did that. I know Riley did that. A couple other guys did it, and ultimately we won the boat. Bill Brown, thanks for catching that big bag. That put us over the top. Feels good. I just want to do a quick, tournament recap of what happened, how I found fish, and what I caught my fish on. It was 4.5 days of 11 to 13 hour practice days. Really worked hard in this event. I mean, hard. I'd say my number one bait, fishing in the backs of cuts after them largemouth, had to have been just your typical 5-inch Senko on a weightless wacky rig Gamakatsu circle hook. It's the best hook on the market for weedless applications. 7'2", medium heavy, extra fast rod with your Corrado. They're the best. What I do with this is I talon down way out in front of the cut and just make long casts. One of the number one keys to this application, and I wouldn't trust any other line for it, is I was using only 12-pound fluorocarbon. I mean, in almost every one of them bigger fish that I'd hook, they would wrap me up in the Tules or the Tamaracks. I never lost a fish on this line. I'm telling you right now, it's the best line I've ever used, and I'll always use it. And I trust all my tournaments with McCoy fishing line, 12-pound fluorocarbon for pitching up into the heavy cover. And even when they wrap me up, I got them in. Another key bait was on the first day I caught a 4-pound key fish that really got my day going. I mean, I only had one small 2-pounder in the boat, and I marked this fish in practice. And this is a 1/2-ounce Rippin' Lips Arky style jig in desert craw pattern, and on the back I had a pair of Rage craw and Summer craw, and I flipped that on 17-pound fluorocarbon, heavy line, thin diameter. You can rely on it. You can flip a 5-pounder in the boat with it. It's great stuff. 7'4", extra heavy flipping stick, Corrado paired to it. High gear ratio, 7-2 gear ratio. Accurate casting was an absolute key. Absolute key to making these fish bite too. Just how they were positioned in the cover. One of my main baits, like just my casting baits, that if I had to pull back out, because keep in mind every day the water was dropping, I don't know, 2 to 5 inches per day. So the fish that we all located in the cuts were slowly cycling out to that rocky stuff out in front, like for secondary points that are within 100 yards of those backs of the cuts. And what I ended up doing is getting a Rippin' Lips football head by itself and threading it onto a smoke-colored spider grub Yamamoto 5-inch. There's either smoke or the 176. 12-pound fluorocarbon. Again, just was key for me. I'm not a real big fan of braid unless I have to, unless I'm punching grass, punching Tules, but I like to keep a little bit smaller line. I feel like I get more bites, and with the strength of McCoy, I don't lose fish very often at all. 7 foot, medium heavy, on a 7-2 to 1 gear ratio, Corrado. That's a quantum smoke rod. Third day, wish I would have came up with this firsthand, and I should have. I mean, I'm experienced. I travel all over the country. Third day, basically, I wasn't really out of fish, but the fish had moved out of the areas because of the falling water. So I ran all over the lake. I got in panic mode and got a limit up around Greg's Basin and Middle Lake and Temple Bar. Come back down with a limit, but probably only had 9 pounds with 5 fish. Ended my day down in Vegas Wash. Realistically, I should have spent the whole day in Vegas Wash. I knew the potential. I found a bunch of big ones there in practice, but the key bait on the third day that helped me hold third place of the event, IOB bluegill pattern frog. Notice that the braid is actually smaller than people usually throw. They'll throw 50 or 65 pound braid. I threw this smaller braid because a lot of the applications I was fishing was open water near the cover, and I felt like that thinner braid, what it would do is when you twist it, it wouldn't pull it out of the strike zone so fast. That you would stay in the strike zone longer. And again, just in my head mentally, smaller line, more bites. I feel like that's how it is everywhere. Smallest line you can get away with matters. And obviously, Lake Mead's a real clear lake. I just throw this up in the backs of cuts where the bigger fish were protecting their fry or whatnot, and possibly even still on beds. And on the third day, this bait is what I culled 3 times in the Vegas Wash. This is the bait that pumped me back up to that mid 13 pound range and helped me hold third. 7'4", extra heavy, extra fast, paired to a 7 3-to-1 reel. As soon as you hook them fish, you got to get them away from that cover. So that's my after tournament recap. I got a lot of cool GoPro video or footage from days 1 and 2, a little bit of 3. 3 was a rough day. It was big water, rainy, wind. It was hard to get footage on that day, and I got in panic mode, to be quite honest. So yeah, that's how my tournament went. Those are the 4 key baits I threw, and just worked my butt off. I'm sunburned, my lips are chapped. I'm really tired. I'm gonna rest today. It's Sunday. I'm probably not gonna move very far from the couch. I leave for Clear Lake, the FLW Costa Series, in just like 4 or 5 days. Gonna go do it again. Thanks for watching. Get yourself some McCoy line and some Rippin' Lips jigs.